right, Ryan Herrera, CHGO Cubs. I'm here with now recurring guest, friend of the show, Justin Steele. Justin, how's it going today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's maybe not the best day out here in Arizona, but we are back in Arizona. It's a couple weeks into spring training now. How are you feeling? How'd the offseason go for you, and just how does it feel to be back here?
It feels great to be back. See all the faces, old faces, new faces in the clubhouse. Spring training is always a good time of year just to get accustomed to your teammates, your new teammates, old teammates, see familiar faces. And yeah, spring's going really good. Through my last live BP yesterday, so I'll be in games 4 days from now.
So you're coming into this season, coming off 2023, and I think, by the end of the season, a lot of people are calling you the ace of the Cubs, the ace of the staff. What is a name like that, the ace, the way people look at you like that? What does that mean to you?
It really means a lot. I'm glad people look at me in that light. That's a really good honor and everything. For me, I don't necessarily look at it like that. I kind of look at it as I just want to be a guy, the team, fans, everyone can depend on to go out there and give you quality innings each time out. I just want to be known for my consistency, and last year I put a lot of work towards that, and did a pretty good job of it, and I want to do a better job of it this year.
And I know you had goals going into last season. How do you feel like you accomplished some of them? I know one of them was 180 to 200 innings. Maybe another start you would have got that 180, but you were that close. How do you feel like you were able to do what were you able to accomplish in terms of those goals?
Yeah, I accomplished a lot of stuff I wanted to. It was a really good year and stuff. I wanted to get to 180 innings. There was the 2-start break I had earlier in the season, so I think I definitely could have got to the 180 without that hiccup, or if I had another start. So I was on pace for right where I wanted to be, and I just kind of want to repeat what I did last year, 33 starts, and get over that 180 inning threshold, possibly push 200.
So what are you looking at 2024 as? Again, a sort of could be called a breakout year for you in 2023. How are you viewing 2024? How are you viewing the rest of the spring and going into the season?
Yeah, I just want to make sure my body and everything's in a good position for the season. We did a good job of that last year. We worked really hard last off season for that season, and we did a lot of similar things this off season. As far as working on myself, I did a few things. I did a lot of work on my sinker, or my two-seam and my changeup, just to have two more offerings. I want to get them pitches to the confidence level of my other pitches, and that would just open some more doors for me, have more doors for success.
So you look at the rotation and where it's at now. I think we can probably pencil Kyle in there, Jameson in there. But another guy that we're looking at who's in the rotation now is Shota Imanaga, right? A big signing for you guys out of Japan. A couple weeks into spring training now, how have you seen him kind of gel in that locker room? How have you seen him in his work? I know you tweeted that one time right before we got down here, that his stuff is nasty.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from him right now a couple weeks into spring?
He's already very comfortable in the clubhouse. Everyone talks to him every day. Everyone enjoys, being around him. He's a great clubhouse presence. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. I think he's going to end up being a fan favorite. He's just really good energy. Really good vibes about him, and the stuff kind of speaks for itself. Just a really good heater, really good breaking stuff, and then has a good change-up / splitter to break off of everything. He's a whole package, and I think it won't take him long to figure out how to pitch in this league.
And what does a guy like that bring to a rotation that was pretty good last year, and now you're adding him and what he brings? How does that affect the rotation right now?
Yeah, just the 1 through 5. You think of a 1 through 5 rotation, and I would say a lot of the guys we have, it's you roll them out there and you feel pretty good about winning the ball game that day. That's what you want throughout an entire rotation. You don't want it to be top heavy, back heavy. You kind of want the whole rotation to be able to go out there and want to win a game any given day, and I feel like that's exactly where we're headed.
So now, I think the big thing that's happened recently is Cody Bellinger being signed. You guys have all talked all off season just how much you enjoyed having him around, whether it was in the clubhouse, on the field, and just what he brought to that club. Now he's back. Now you kind of have a more clear idea of what the roster looks like going into the season. But just for him, just again, what does he bring to this ball club right now? A year after he went through all those. The battles with you guys last year, the ups and the downs, the roller coaster of the year. What is having him back, bringing that guy back do for you?
There's something to be said about somebody that you went through a battle with. Towards the end of the season, we were grinding, trying to get in the playoffs, and he was a big part of that and stuff. It just to have that gel and that mesh already beforehand, and now it seems like you're bringing in a free agent, but it's just a guy you played with last year. It's really cool, and it's good to have him back. Everyone in the clubhouse is super excited to have him back. And, I mean, we all saw what he did last year and how important he was to the team. And, I mean, we all expect him to do it again. And, we envision ourselves being in a really good spot because of it.
So it is a little bit of a different feeling, as you said, when you're kind of bringing back one of your own versus – because in theory, right, bringing a free agent in should be a good thing.
Yeah.
But when it is one of your own, there's a little bit of a different feeling to it.
No doubt about it. Because, I mean, you instantly just think back to last season and, like, being in the locker room with him all the time, having those conversations, getting to know him as a teammate, as a person and everything. And, it means a little bit more. It's a little more special when you bring somebody back.
Yeah. Another guy I want to ask about is Adbert. One of your good friends. We talked about it a lot. You guys went through most of the system together at the same time, or close to the same time. Him getting that chance to close last year, I think early May was when he kind of moved into that role. What did you see out of him over those last few months of the season, and just attacking that role really thriving in it, as we all saw?
Yeah, you said it right there. He just attacked the role. He grabbed it by the horns. That's just the kind of person he is. He grabs anything in life by the horns and attacks it head on. That's the kind of person he is. He's a competitor, and he's one of them guys you want out there at the back end of the game, shutting the door, closing games out and stuff. And I'm one of them people, when it comes to Adbert, I believe in him 100%, no matter what the situation is. Like, you could roll him out there to start games. Like, I mean, the guy was a starter. He's that talented. He has that good of stuff, and the competitor and the person's even better. And
I look at it as, you guys are a couple of the guys that have been in the system for a while on the pitching side, going through it. And
10 years now.
Yeah, 10 years ago, going on 10 years. So now, maybe over the last decade or so, there was this kind of idea that the Cubs couldn't develop pitching. The Cubs couldn't, bring up homegrown guys. Obviously, you and Adbert are a couple of guys that are helping to change that narrative, but there's a lot of young talent in the system already debuting. Jordan Wicks is one of those guys I have in mind. Just what have you seen as far as the evolution of this organization pitching-wise, and just how a lot of these guys are starting to come up and look like real potential contributors?
Yeah, I would say there was a switch in the narrative around the pitching and the Cubs farm system and everything about the time being Adbert started getting to the big leagues and started having success. I don't know if it was part due to, like, guys seeing homegrown guys get to the big leagues with Cubs, and it kind of made it seem more feasible and stuff. I remember coming through the minors, and, the guys in the big leagues were just, like, studs. Yu Darvish, John Lester, Jake Arrieta, Kyle Hendricks, like, just names, So it seemed like the big leagues was super far away, because you're looking at those guys, it's like, there's no way I'm taking one of their spots. But I think the switch happened. Like, you start seeing me, Adbert, Jordan Wicks, other homegrown guys get to the big leagues with the team that drafted them, the Cubs. I think it kind of opened up a little more not wiggle room, but, like, it just kind of seemed like it was more feasible to get there. You could do it quicker and stuff like that. I think that could have played a role in it. And I just think the overall talent level in our farm system is really good right now too. I mean, we got so many guys who, like, I would say is, like, big league talent ready, and we're in a good spot because we have a lot of guys that are in that position, young guys who are proven, that are already here. So it's going to be an interesting year.
And obviously it seems like the player group is kind of set. You got a lot of contributors either that should be on the roster to start the year or coming up at some point throughout the season. But one of the other big things that happened this offseason was the switch to Counsell at manager. One, what has it been like getting to know him and what he brings to a ball club? But two, as the coaching staff is getting set, finding out that guys like Tommy Hotovy and Daniel Moskowitz are going to be sticking around, and as far as the pitching side, continuing to work and building that relationship.
Yeah, I'm loving Counsell so far. Everyone is. Camp's been running smoothly. Everybody's enjoying it. We like what we're working on and stuff. I was really excited to have Tommy. That was kind of my first thought when the news broke, was kind of like, all right, like, is this going to be like a complete overhaul? Is this going to be, just him? Is a few guys staying? So I was really excited, when a lot of the pitching staff was coming back and stuff, especially Tommy. Me and Tommy just have such a good connection at this point. He's been here when I was called up. He's worked with me through my career and stuff, so we have a good understanding of one another.
And a couple more for you. Just overall, fans want to know what to expect out of the 2024 Chicago Cubs. What would you tell them if a fan asked you that right now? What would you tell them to expect?
I would say right now, just on paper, I would say we're better than we were last year. We got the young guys coming up who are going to contribute at some point during the season. That's going to be a big help. Getting Bailey back's obviously a huge help. Puts us, we had him last year, so that's production that we're going to be bringing from last year. And we just have a lot of the same guys in the clubhouse, and we just have a really good bond. It's like Counsell was saying, it's kind of like a spider web in there. There's each corner of the clubhouse, everyone's connected, and I feel like that's the way we're headed.
Last one, I know you're a big football fan, and people in Chicago want to know, what should the Bears do with the number 1 overall pick?
I think I'm on the minority with this. I've been saying keep Fields and do trades in the direction of getting help around him, like trade the number 1 pick to somebody that wants it, and maybe get 3 picks in that first round. Maybe get some offensive line help, maybe grab one of them top 3 receivers. I think that would be a good start. Get one of them top receivers, good offensive linemen to protect Fields, and then the defense is always good. The Bears were a lot of fun to watch last year, and I really enjoyed watching them. And I think, what you got with Fields. You got a uber athlete. I think they keep building around him, but I'm not in that position to make those calls.
And I think we're both happy we're not in that position.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that would disagree with you, but a lot of people that would agree with you.
Yes, no doubt.
But that's why we love doing this stuff. All right, Justin, obviously, thank you for joining us
Thanks
again.
for having
Great
me.
to have you. For CHGO Cubs, I'm Ryan Herrera. We'll talk to you later.
We all silly like the mayor.